Chapter 1. The Borrowed Life. 1. Waking up wrong, pain. That was the first thing he felt. A throbbing ache behind his eyes, like someone had taken a hammer to his skull. His fingers twitched against something soft. A bed? Wait, I don't remember going to bed. His eyes flew open. White ceiling. Flickering neon light from a window. The smell of stale takeout and something metallic. This isn't my room. He lurched upright, panic clawing up his throat. His hands, wrong hands, gripped the sheets. Too rough. A scar across the knuckles he'd never seen before. What the hell? A mirror hung crooked on the wall across from the bed. He staggered toward it, legs wobbling like a newborn deer. The face staring back wasn't his. Pale skin. Dark circles under bloodshot green eyes. A jagged cut fresh on his cheekbone. Black hair, messy as if he'd been in a fight. No. No, no, no. He grabbed at his face, but the reflection mimicked him perfectly. A sharp ping echoed in his skull. Soul integration complete. A translucent blue screen materialized in front of him. Error. Name not found. Status. Alive. Barely. Body inherited. Unknown male. Age 23. Memory sync. 12% fragmented. Warning. Original soul termination detected. Cuz. He recoiled. What the fuck is this? A VR glitch? Am I drugged? The screen didn't care. New text scrolled. Current stats. Strength. 5. Agility. 6. Magic affinity. 3. Luck. 4. Skills. Memory fragments. Passive. Currency. 27 credits. A strangled laugh escaped him. Credits? Stats? Am I in some kind of game? A burst of pain. Not his pain. Flashed behind his eyes. Running. Shouting. The smell of burnt ozone. Someone else's memory. He gasped, clutching his head. The vision vanished as fast as it came. 2. A world of magic and neon. The apartment was a dump. Pizza boxes stacked like sad towers. A cracked tablet on the desk, glowing with unread messages. He grabbed it. The screen lit up. New Arcanum Network. Date. 2043. Nay. Headlines scrolled past. Mana storm warning. Downtown grid offline. Guild wars escalate. Crimson Syndicate claims new territory. Outside the grimy window. The city stretched under an alien sky. Towers of steel and glass, but with floating lanterns tethered by glowing runes. A billboard flickered. Get your Ether Link shipped today. Magic at your fingertips. Magic. Modern tech. And me. Stuck in some dead guy's body. A knock at the door. Hey, asshole. You alive in there? A woman's voice, sharp as a knife. His pulse spiked. Shit. Someone who knew the original owner. The door swung open before he could answer. 3. First contact. She was tall, leather-clad, with violet eyes that glowed faintly. Not human. Pointed ears. Elf? Oh good, you're not dead. She tossed a crumpled energy drink can at him. You missed your shift. Again. Memory fragments activated. Her name is Kayla. Worked together at the Rusty Gear Tavern. Owes her money. He fumbled for words. Had a rough night. Kayla's eyes narrowed. You look like hell. Did you finally piss off the wrong people? Before he could answer, a crash came from the alley below. Screams. Kayla cursed. Mana rats. Guild'll fine us if they breach the block. She yanked him toward the window. Move your ass. You owe me for covering your tab. 4. Trial by combat. The street was chaos. Giant, rat-like creatures, their fur crackling with unstable magic, scurried through overturned trash bins. Civilians bolted for cover. New quest. Survival instinct. Defeat the mana rats. 0 thirds. Reward. 50 express. 20 credits. Kayla flicked her wrist. A dagger made of light materialized in her grip. Try not to die, newbie. He had no weapon. No idea how to fight. A rat lunged. Instinct took over. He ducked, grabbed a broken pipe, and swung. Basic combat. Level 1. Activated. The pipe connected. The rat screeched, but didn't go down. 5 strength is pathetic. Kayla finished it off with a slash. Stop thinking. Just hit them. Somehow, they cleared the rats. His hands shook. Quest complete. Plus 50 XP. Plus 20 credits. New skill unlocked. Mana Sense. Level 1. Kayla wiped her blade. You're lucky I was here. He stared at his hands. This is real. I'm really here. Then his pocket buzzed. A message flashed on his stolen tablet. Unknown sender, you're late. The deal's off if you don't deliver the artifact by sundown. Kayla saw it. Her face went cold. Tell me you didn't take that job, he swallowed. Oh no, end of Chapter 1, Chapter 2. The Artifact Job, 1. A knife at your throat, the message burned in Dane's vision long after the hologram faded. Unknown sender, you're late. The deal's off if you don't deliver the artifact by sundown. Kayla's violet eyes flickered like dying neon. Tell me you didn't take that job. Dane's stolen fingers trembled against the tablet. I don't even know what. Blood in his mouth, the weight of the relic in his coat, a voice hissing. Run, memory fragments. Level 2. The skill upgraded without warning, flooding his skull with someone else's panic. Kayla slammed him against the wall. The Black Lotus Syndicate doesn't give second chances. Whatever the old you stole, it's got a body count already. Her breath smelled of iron and cheap stimulants. Was it worth it? Dane's laugh came out jagged. Ask the dead guy. Quest updated. Survival instinct, option 1. Deliver the artifact, high risk. Reward, option 2. Sell it, mercenary route, guild reputation -20. Option 3. Destroy it, morality +10. Syndicate wanted level. Max, blank, underscore, blank, 2. The neon wound. Undercity dive, pipes groaned overhead, dripping glowing green sludge onto the streets below. The Undercity wasn't a place, it was an infection. Dane's boot sank into a puddle of something that bubbled. You sure your contact's here? Only place the syndicate won't look, Kayla muttered. The crawling rot specializes in lost causes. A cyborg missing his lower jaw rattled a cup at them. His chest glitched with a corrupted mana core. Streetwise check. Failed. Dane stepped too close. The beggar's hand lashed out, a syringe filled with liquid memory jammed toward his neck. Kayla's dagger took the man's wrist off at the bone. Echo addicts, she spat, kicking the twitching fingers aside. They'll shank you for a hit of someone else's nostalgia. Dane stared at the severed hand. The fingers still clutched the syringe. This world doesn't heal, it consumes. Blank, underscore, blank, 3. The deal. Silas Vex's parlor. Silas Vex lounged in a chair of fused vertebrae. Real or sculpted, Dane couldn't tell. The crime lord's smile peeled back like a surgical incision. Dane. You look different. Perception check. Past, Silas knows. Or suspects. Kayla stepped forward. We have the package. Credits first. Silas snapped his fingers. A hollow screen materialized. Transaction. 50,000 credits. Terms. Live demonstration required. A door hissed open. 2 enforcers dragged in an elf girl. Her mouth stitched shut with glowing wire. Silas tossed Dane the artifact. A gauntlet of blackened bone. Show me it works. Warning. Soulbound item detected. Doomforged gauntlet. Steals 1d4 stats from target on contact. Sanity cost 5% per use. Dane's hands shook. I'm not your fucking lab rat, Silas sighed. Then your waste management. The enforcers drew pistols. Kayla's dagger glowed. Combat initiated, blank, underscore, blank, 4. Blood price. Dane hated violence. His body didn't. Muscle memory took over. A duck, a pivot, the gauntlet screaming as it activated on its own. His fist connected with the nearest enforcer's chest. Stat theft. +2 strength, sanity, 95%. The man collapsed, his skin graying like rotting paper. The elf girl screamed through her stitches. Kayla was a blur of violence. One enforcer choked on his own tongue after her dagger found a nerve cluster. Silas just watched, sipping wine. Fascinating. It likes you. Dane's vision doubled. The gauntlet whispered, they killed me for this. But you'll do worse. The original owner's voice. Inside his head, then the walls exploded. Blank, underscore, blank, 5. Fire and fragments. Frostfire grenades turned the parlor into a kaleidoscope of melting flesh and glittering ice. Kayla yanked Dane behind an overturned table. Syndicate cleanup crew. We're expendable now. Dane's gauntlet pulsed. The elf girl's stitches had torn. She was crawling toward him, eyes wild. Please, she rasped. Don't let it take me. A bullet took her between the eyes. Quest failed. Deliver the artifact. New quest. Survive the syndicate. Wanted level 3. Silas was gone. Only his wineglass remained, half full and dripping onto the corpse at Dane's feet. Kayla grabbed his collar. Move, or next time, it's your skull in that gauntlet. As they fled, Dane's last glimpse was the elf's body, and the gauntlet's shadow, stretching toward her like a hungry mouth. System notice: Doomforged Gauntlet has bonded to user. Dane, soul integration. 24% warning. Hostile takeover detected in 71 hours 59 minutes and 59 seconds. Chapter 3. The Hunter's Gaze 1. The safe house, if you can call it that, rain slashed against the corroded window of the abandoned arcology tower. Somewhere in the walls, a faulty mana conduit hissed like a dying animal. Dane pressed his back against the crumbling concrete, the Doomforged Gauntlet still fused to his arm. It hadn't let go since the massacre at Silas's parlor. You feel it, don't you? Kayla's voice was raw. She hadn't stopped gripping her dagger since they fled. That thing is eating you. A notification flickered in his vision. Warning. Soul integration at 24%, hostile takeover in 70 hours 32 minutes and 17 seconds, Dane exhaled. 3 days. 3 days until whatever was left of the original owner, or something worse, took over his body completely. Kayla tossed him a rusted injector. Mana stabilizer. It'll slow the decay. Item acquired. Stabilizer serum, sanity drain reduced by 50% for 12H, side effect. Hallucinations, mild. Dane jammed it into his neck without hesitation. Blank, blank, 2. The first hunt, they didn't make it to sunrise. Syndicate hounds found them by scent, not blood, not sweat, but the mana signature of the gauntlet. Cybernetic beasts with exposed ribs and glowing red eyes burst through the safe house door. Combat initiated. Syndicate trackers, X3, Dane moved before he could think. The gauntlet pulled him into the fight, his stolen +2 strength making his strikes brutal but clumsy. One hound died fast, its spine snapping under his fist. The second lunged. Kayla's dagger found its eye, the blade discharging a pulse of lightning mana. The beast spasmed, its mechanical heart frying in its chest. The third pounced on Dane, jaws clamping around his forearm. The gauntlet reacted. Stat theft. +1 agility, sanity. 82%. The hound collapsed, its cybernetics darkening to rust in seconds. Kayla stared at him. You're not just stealing stats. You're stealing time. Dane's breath came in ragged gasps. The stabilizer was wearing off. The walls breathe. Blank, blank, 3. The whispering gauntlet, the hallucinations started small, shadows pooling wrong. A voice at the edge of hearing. Then the gauntlet spoke. You're weak. Let me help. Dane's reflection in a broken mirror wasn't his own. A stranger smirked back, sharp teeth, eyes like cracked glass. The original owner, or what was left of him. Silas didn't kill me. I let him, because I knew you'd come. Kayla shook him hard. Focus. We need to move. But the gauntlet wasn't done. New quest. The Hollow Cathedral, location. Old District ruins, objective. Break the seal before they do. Reward. Answers. Dane didn't remember accepting the quest, but the waypoint pulsed in his vision like a second heartbeat. Blank, blank, 4. The Hollow Cathedral, Midnight Run. The Old District was a corpse. Crumbling skyscrapers, streets choked with vines that twitched when touched. Kayla's dagger stayed drawn. This place is forbidden for a reason. Dane's gauntlet burned hotter with every step. Then, the trap sprang. A syndicate reaper dropped from the ruins above. A humanoid war machine, its face a smooth ceramic mask. Boss encounter. Reaper Unit 7, weakness. Unknown. Kayla moved first. Lightning dagger versus monofilament wire. Dane's gauntlet screamed for him to steal, take, consume, but the reaper was faster. A wire sliced Dane's thigh open. Blood hit the gauntlet. The world split. Blank, blank, 5. The vision, 7th death. Dane wasn't himself. He was someone else. Kneeling in a circle of 7 corpses, each wearing his face, the gauntlet's true voice boomed. You are the 8th. The last. The one who breaks the cycle. Then, the vision shattered. Kayla had stabbed the reaper through its mask. Black fluid gushed. The gauntlet's counter ticked down. Soul integration. 37%, hostile takeover in 68 hours 14 minutes and 9 seconds. Dane's hands were shaking, but for the first time, The gauntlet's whispers weren't just hunger, they were fear. The hollow cathedral loomed ahead, its doors sealed with chains. And fresh blood. Someone had been here first. System notice, Doomforged gauntlet synchronization accelerating, warning. Integration spike detected during combat. Kayla wiped her blade. Whatever's in there, it's worse than the Syndicate. Dane's reflection in her dagger wasn't his own. It smiled. Chapter 4. The Seventh Death, 1. The sealed door, the chains on the cathedral doors weren't just metal. They were spellforged, etched with warnings in a dead language. Kayla traced the glyphs with her dagger. This isn't just a lock. It's a warning. Dane's gauntlet pulsed in response, its blackened veins writhing under his skin. Soul integration. 39% flickered in his vision like a failing neon sign. Then the chains shattered on their own. The doors groaned open, exhaling air that smelled of old blood and burnt ozone. Inside, the cathedral was a carcass of Gothic arches and shattered stained glass. Moonlight cut through the ruins, illuminating 7 altars, each holding a corpse in advanced decay, all wearing Dane's face. Quest updated. The Hollow Cathedral. Discover the seventh death's secret. Kayla's grip on her dagger tightened. We should leave, the gauntlet whispered. Too late. Blank, blank, 2. The first altar. Memories not his own. Dane's fingers brushed the first corpse's forehead. Memory fragment. Activated. He was kneeling in this same cathedral, screaming as a blade of black fire plunged into his chest. A voice boomed. The cycle continues. The vision snapped. Dane staggered back, his nose bleeding. The corpse's lips moved, whispering, "You're the 8th. You always are." Kayla yanked him away. Don't touch them. But the gauntlet was hungry. It dragged him to the second altar. Stat theft. +1 magic affinity, sanity. 74%. The corpse crumbled to dust as Dane's veins burned with stolen power. Kayla looked at him like he was already dead. You're killing yourself. Dane coughed blood. No, I'm killing him. He pointed to the 7th altar, the only one empty. Blank, blank, 3. The Syndicate's trap. The gunshot came from above. A sniper round punched through Dane's shoulder, spinning him to the ground. Kayla dove behind an altar as gunfire rained from the cathedral's upper balconies. Combat initiated. Syndicate Death Squad. Silas Vex's voice echoed through the ruins. I did you a favor, Dane. I put down the 7th. Now hand over the gauntlet before you become him. Dane's vision swam. The gauntlet seethed, its whispers turning into a roar. Liar. He fears what comes next. Kayla tossed Dane a mana grenade. Buy me 10 seconds. He pulled the pin with his teeth and threw. The explosion wasn't fire or shrapnel. It was pure silence, a vacuum that shattered eardrums and stalled spells. In that stillness, Kayla moved. Blank, blank, 4. The 7th death's truth. Dane crawled to the empty 7th altar. His blood smeared the stone, and the altar reacted, etching glowing red lines into its surface. A final memory fragment unleashed. Silas standing over the original Dane's body, the gauntlet torn from his arm. You were supposed to break the cycle, Silas hissed. Not join it. Then, the gauntlet's true voice. 7 deaths. 7 failures. You are the 8th, the last. The vision ended with a name. Ezekiel Marr, the first, the gauntlet's creator. Blank, blank, 5. The choice, become or break. Silas's sniper team reloaded. Kayla was pinned down, bleeding from a graze to her temple. The gauntlet's counter raced. Soul integration. 51%. Hostile takeover in 64 hours 22 minutes and 17 seconds. Dane gripped the altar. Choice offered. Accept the cycle. Gain Ezekiel's memories. Knowledge of the gauntlet's true purpose. Reject the cycle. Shatter the gauntlet. Lose all stolen stats. Consequences. Kayla met his eyes across the battlefield. She didn't speak. She didn't need to. Dane made his choice. The cathedral trembled. The 7 altars screamed. And the gauntlet finally told the truth. System override. Hostile takeover paused. New objective. Find Ezekiel's grave. Silas's voice cracked with something like fear. What did you do? Dane stood, his veins burning with 7 deaths worth of power. I remembered. Chapter 5. Ezekiel's grave, 1. The weight of 7 lives. The cathedral's ruins still trembled as Dane and Kayla fled into the Undercity's labyrinthine alleys. The gauntlet no longer whispered. It hummed, A low, hungry vibration that matched Dane's pulse. Soul integration. 51%. Pause. New quest. Find Ezekiel's grave. Location. The Bone Gardens. Reward. Answers. Or doom. Kayla wiped blood from her temple, her violet eyes reflecting the neon haze of the city above. You realize we're walking into a trap, right? That thing wants you to find its maker. Dane flexed the gauntlet's fingers. And Silas wants it back. Which means we move now. A notification flickered. Warning. Syndicate hunters, elite, detected in vicinity. They weren't waiting for sundown. Blank, underscore, blank, 2. The Bone Gardens, the city's dead, didn't rest in soil. They hung in suspended crypts, floating in mana-charged amber. The Bone Gardens were a vertical cemetery, its towers stacked with corpses like macabre filing cabinets. Kayla hacked the security panel with her dagger's energy pulse. Ezekiel Marr. If he's here, he's old. Pre-collapse. The gate hissed open. The air inside was thick with the scent of preserved rot and static. Dane's gauntlet flared, its veins lashing toward a specific crypt. Tier 7. Pod 13. The nameplate was rusted but legible. Ezekiel Marr. Last words. I'm sorry. Kayla exhaled. Charming. Dane reached for the POD's release, and the gauntlet screamed. Blank, underscore, blank, 3. The first memory, Ezekiel's sin, memory overload. Critical, a lab buried beneath the city. Ezekiel, younger, frantic, injecting liquid soul into the gauntlet's core. It has to work this time, he muttered. 7 iterations, 7 failures. A woman's voice. You're not saving anyone. You're damning them. Then, fire. Screams. The gauntlet's first words. I live. The vision shattered. Dane was on his knees, his nose bleeding freely. The POD's glass was cracked. Inside, Ezekiel's corpse was perfectly preserved and smiling. Kayla cursed. He's not dead. He's hibernating. The gauntlet's voice returned, but now it wasn't in Dane's head. It came from the pod. Hello. 8th, blank, underscore, blank, 4. The Syndicate's endgame, the shot came from above. A high-caliber round meant for Dane's skull, only to stop mid-air, inches from his face. Silas Vex descended on a monoglider, his coat billowing like a vulture's wings. Touching reunion, but the gauntlet isn't yours to awaken. Kayla's dagger was already drawn. You knew. You've been harvesting the past hosts. Silas smiled. And now, we harvest you. His glider's cargo bay opened. Hostile spawn. Revenants, former gauntlet hosts 1 to 6, 6 figures dropped to the ground, their bodies stitched together with Syndicate cybernetics, their eyes glowing the same venomous green as the gauntlet. Dane's gauntlet recognized them, and it was afraid. Blank, underscore, blank, 5. The 8th's choice, the revenants moved faster than flesh should allow. Dane barely dodged the first strike, the gauntlet's stolen agility saving him by a millisecond. Kayla's dagger sparked against cybernetic bone, but the revenants didn't bleed. Combat alert. Revenants are immune to physical damage. Silas watched from above, sipping from a flask. They're not alive, Dane. You can't steal from the dead. The gauntlet's voice hissed. Then make them alive again. New skill unlocked. Soul Reap forces a stat check versus revenants. Success. Temporary control. 1d4 turns. Failure. Sanity loss. 10%. Dane didn't hesitate. He grabbed the nearest revenant, host number 3. A woman with half her face melted off, and the gauntlet flared black. Soul Reap. Success. Control established. The revenant turned on its kin. Silas's flask slipped from his fingers. Impossible. Dane grinned. You shouldn't have brought them here. Blank, underscore, blank, 6. The awakening. Chaos erupted. Kayla used the distraction to scale the crypt towers, her dagger aimed for Silas's glider. The controlled revenant tore into its siblings, buying Dane time to reach Ezekiel's pod. The gauntlet slammed into the glass. Wake up. The pod exploded. Ezekiel Marr's body collapsed into dust, but his voice remained, echoing through the gauntlet. Asterisk. The cycle isn't for power. It's a prison. For me. The gauntlet's counter resumed. Soul integration. 68%. Hostile takeover in 59 hours 47 minutes and 22 seconds. But now Dane understood. The gauntlet wasn't stealing his soul. It was feeding him to the thing trapped inside it. The revenants crumbled, their cybernetics failing as Ezekiel's presence faded. Silas's glider sputtered. Kayla's dagger embedded in its engine, and Dane finally heard the gauntlet's true voice, not Ezekiel's, something older, something hungry. System corruption, hostile entity identified. The Hollow King, objective updated. Find the crown of ash. Kayla landed beside him, breathing hard. What now? Dane flexed the gauntlet. We end this. Chapter 6, The Crown of Ash, 1. The Hollow King's voice, the gauntlet no longer whispered. It commanded, the crown is in the obsidian spire. Where they buried me. Dane's vision swam with corrupted system text, the letters bleeding like ink in water. Warning. External entity override detected, current host designation. Vessel, integration progress. 68%. Kayla grabbed his wrist, her fingers pressing into the gauntlet's pulsing veins. Don't listen to it. That thing isn't Ezekiel. It's whatever he was trying to cage. Dane gritted his teeth. Then why does it sound so scared? A memory fragment forced its way into his skull, a throne of black glass. A figure in a shattered crown, screaming as chains of light wrapped around its throat. Ezekiel's voice. You don't get to die. You get to wait. Asterisk, the vision snapped, Kayla's grip tightened. We need to find the crown before Silas does. Or worse, before you do. Blank, underscore, blank, 2. The obsidian spire. The spire wasn't on any map, it was a wound in reality, a jagged monolith of black glass jutting from the ruins of the old city's center. The air around it shimmered, as if the world itself recoiled from its presence. Sanity check. Failed. Dane's gauntlet arm twisted, the bones elongating for a heartbeat before snapping back. Kayla didn't comment, but her dagger stayed drawn. A syndicate dropship lay in wreckage at the spire's base, its hull peeled open like a rotten fruit. Silas beat us here, Kayla muttered. Dane's gauntlet reacted, its claws digging into his flesh. Liar. He was led. Asterisk, then the screaming started. Blank, underscore, blank, 3. The first sacrifice. Silas's men were still alive. Mostly, they hung from the spire's lower arches, their bodies fused with the glass, mouths stretched in silent howls. One twitched, his jaw unhinging to vomit a stream of black sludge. Corruption level, 89%. Kayla stepped back. We're not climbing through that. Dane's gauntlet flared. There's another way. But it requires blood. Asterisk, a system prompt appeared. Path of the Hollow, sacrifice. 1 health permanently, reward. Safe passage. Kayla's eyes narrowed. Don't you fucking dare. Dane slashed his palm across the spire's edge. The glass drank. Blank, underscore, blank, 4. The Hollow King's prison. The spire's interior was a cathedral of nightmares. Floating chunks of broken cityscape drifted in the abyss below. The air smelled of burnt hair and copper. At the center, suspended by chains of crackling energy, was a crown of fractured black crystal, and Silas Vex, kneeling before it. You're too late, he rasped, his skin peeling back to reveal muscle slick with oil like blood. It's already chosen. The crown pulsed. Silas's body exploded. The Hollow King stood in his place. Blank, underscore, blank, 5. The Hollow King awakens. It wore Silas's face like an ill-fitting mask, its true form flickering beneath the skin. A thing of jagged shadows and too many teeth. Boss engage. The Hollow King, weakness. Kayla moved first. Her dagger aimed for its throat. The Hollow King caught the blade and ate it. Metal dissolving in its grip. Kayla. My old jailer. How kind of you to return. Dane's gauntlet screamed in recognition. Kill her. She knows. Kayla spat blood. Dane. The crown's not a weapon. It's a lock. The Hollow King laughed, and the spire began to collapse. Blank, underscore, blank, 6. The 8th's gambit. Dane had one play. He charged the crown, the gauntlet's claws outstretched, and grabbed Kayla instead, yanking her into the abyss as the spire shattered above them. The Hollow King's howl followed them down. Traitor. Then, impact, darkness, and a single, glowing prompt. Integration progress. 100%. Welcome, Hollow King. Dane opened his eyes. He stood in a void of endless mirrors, each reflecting a different version of himself. Some armored in black glass, others rotting in graves. At the center sat a throne, and on it, the Hollow King wearing his face. Hello, 8th. Let's negotiate. Chapter 7. Mirror of the Damned, 1. The throne of reflections, the Hollow King lounged on its throne of shattered glass, its stolen face. Dane's face. Stretched into a smile too wide for human anatomy. Negotiation is simple, it said, fingers steepled. Give me your body willingly, and I'll let her live. A mirror flickered, revealing Kayla suspended in a prison of liquid shadow, her dagger hand twitching toward a rusted key at her belt. Dane's gauntlet, now fused up to his shoulder in black crystal, thrummed with warning. Warning. Soul integration complete, Hollow King Dominion. Active, all stats boosted by 50%, sanity. Locked at 0%, he had no stats left to steal. No sanity left to lose, only a choice, blank, blank, 2. The first lie, Dane stepped forward. You're not Ezekiel's prisoner, you're his experiment. Asterisk, the Hollow King's grin faltered, a mirror shattered, revealing a memory. Ezekiel in his lab, injecting a screaming subject with liquid void. The hollow isn't a curse. It's a cure for mortality. The king snarled, and the vision collapsed. He promised godhood. He gave me this. It gestured to its flickering, half-formed body. Kayla's voice cut through the void. Dane. The key. The Hollow King lunged, and Dane let it hit him. Blank, blank, 3. The key of ash. Impact. Pain. Then, system override. Kayla's authority recognized. The rusted key in Kayla's hand glowed white-hot, searing through her prison. The Hollow King recoiled. You're the last warden, Kayla finished, driving the key into Dane's gauntlet. Hollow King integration. Reversing, sanity. 1%, rebooting. The gauntlet screamed, its crystal shell cracking as the Hollow King's form destabilized. You planned this, Dane rasped. Kayla's violet eyes burned. I hoped for it. Blank, blank, 4. The Hollow King's last trick, the void trembled. The Hollow King split into 7 fragments, each a twisted echo of Dane's past lives. Final boss phase. 7 hollows, weakness. The crown of ash, dormant. Kayla tossed Dane her backup dagger. A blade of warden's steel, humming with anti-magic. 1 shot. Aim for the real one. The hollows attacked in unison. Dane closed his eyes and listened for the gauntlet's last whisper. I'm sorry, blank, blank, 5. The 8th sacrifice, the dagger struck mirror glass flesh. The Hollow King shrieked, its form unraveling into smoke and static. The crown of ash shattered, and Dane woke up, blank, blank, 6. The price of freedom, sunlight. Real, unfiltered sunlight. Dane lay in the ruins of the spire, the gauntlet gone, his arm bare except for burned in runes. Kayla crouched beside him, her warden's key now a twisted lump of slag. It's over, she said. A system prompt flickered weakly. Quest complete. Hollow King defeated. Final reward. Freedom, thank you. Then, silence. The runes on Dane's arm itched. Somewhere, deep in the city's underbelly, a black mirror trembled, and a voice that wasn't quite the Hollow King's whispered, Liar, please continue writing the next chapter. Edit, Chapter 8. The Warden's Gambit, 1. The aftermath, the runes on Dane's arm pulsed with a dull, persistent ache. Like a phantom limb, but worse. It wasn't pain. It was absence. The gauntlet was gone. The Hollow King was supposedly dead, and Kayla was packing her gear in the dim light of their latest hideout. Her movements sharp, deliberate. You knew, Dane said, his voice raw. From the beginning, she didn't deny it. I knew the Hollow King was still alive. I didn't know it would pick you. A pause. Then, quieter. I'm sorry. Dane flexed his fingers. The runes shimmered faintly. System remnant detected, residual energy. 3% functionality. Unknown, he wasn't free. He was repurposed. Blank, blank, 2. The Warden's truth, Kayla tossed him a holodisk. It flickered to life, projecting a map of the city, except it wasn't a city they knew. It was layered, like an onion of realities. The Hollow King was just one of 7, she said. The Wardens locked them away centuries ago. But the locks are failing. Dane's runes burned in response. Memory fragment unlocked, a council of figures in silver masks. The vessels must never know, one whispered. Ignorance is their armor. The vision snapped. Dane exhaled. So what am I now? A warden? Kayla's smile was thin. You're the key. Blank, blank, 3. The first lock, the obsidian spire revisited. The spire was different now. Without the Hollow King's presence, it had crumbled into a jagged ruin. But the air still hummed with residual energy, like the echo of a scream. Kayla pressed her palm to a blackened stone. The wardens didn't just lock the Hollow King away. They fed it. 7 lives, 7 deaths, cycling forever to keep it docile. Dane's stomach turned. You mean the Gauntlet's hosts were sacrifices, she finished. And you broke the cycle. The runes on his arm flared. Warning. Residual lock detected. Proximity alert. Second lock. The Duskwarden's chains. A voice. Not the Hollow King's, but older, whispered through the stones. Find us. Blank. Underscore. Blank. 4. The Syndicate's endgame. Revealed. Silas Vex's corpse was gone, but his notes remained, scattered among the rubble. Dane pieced together the fragments. The Syndicate hadn't wanted the Gauntlet destroyed. They'd wanted it controlled. And now, with the Hollow King dead, they were moving on to lock number 2. Kayla's jaw tightened. They're idiots. You don't control the Duskwarden. You survive it. Dane stared at the runes on his arm. And me? You're the failsafe. Blank. Underscore. Blank. 5. The choice, again. The holomap updated, marking a location deep in the city's underbelly. The Duskwarden's chains. Status. 84% stable. Syndicate interference detected. Kayla strapped on her remaining dagger. We stop them before they crack it open. Dane didn't move, or she met his gaze. Or we let them try. And when the Duskwarden wakes up screaming, you do what you were made to do. System remnant activated. Functionality revealed. Lock reset. The runes burned brighter. Dane exhaled. Let's go. The ruins trembled as they left. Somewhere, far below, chains rattled, and the runes on Dane's arm whispered back. Continue writing please. Edit. Chapter 9. The Duskwarden's chains. 1. The descent. The elevator groaned as it plunged deeper than any city schematic showed. Kayla's holomap flickered, static distorting the words. Lock number 2. Duskwarden's chains. Status. Breach imminent. Dane's rune-scarred arm throbbed in time with the elevator's rattling descent. How far down does this go? Kayla checked her dagger. Far enough that whatever's waiting shouldn't exist anymore. The elevator jolted, then stopped. The doors opened to darkness. Not empty darkness. Breathing darkness. Blank. Underscore. Blank. 2. The second lock. The chamber was vast, its ceiling lost in shadow. At its center hung a single chain, thicker than a man's torso, its links etched with the same runes that now marked Dane's flesh. The chain was broken. One end dangled freely. The other vanished into a black pit in the floor, where something shifted with a sound like grinding teeth. Kayla inhaled sharply. They already started the ritual. Syndicate corpses littered the ground, their bodies desiccated, skin stretched tight over bone. Their faces were frozen in expressions of ecstatic terror. Dane's runes burned colder. Warning. Duskwarden proximity. Sanity drain. 5% per minute. Then, from the pit, laughter. Blank. Underscore. Blank. 3. The Syndicate's mistake. A figure stepped from the shadows. Not a monster. A man in a Syndicate officer's coat. His eyes hollow. His mouth sewn shut with silver wire. Kayla's dagger was drawn in an instant. Possessed. The man tilted his head. When he spoke, his lips didn't move. The voice came from beneath their feet. You are late, Warden. The feast has already begun. Dane's vision warped. The chamber stretched, the walls peeling back to reveal rows upon rows of chains, each holding a twisted figure in varying states of decay. Duskwarden's prison. True form revealed. This wasn't a lock, it was a larder. Blank. Underscore. Blank. 4. The failsafe. Activation. Kayla lunged. Her dagger aimed for the possessed officer's throat. The Duskwarden reacted. Chains lashed from the walls, wrapping around her limbs midair. You misunderstand, the voice boomed. You are not here to stop me. You are here to feed me. Dane's runes erupted in white fire. Lock reset protocol. Initiated. The Duskwarden screamed. Blank. Underscore. Blank. 5. The price of a soul. The runes weren't just scars. They were commands. Dane's body moved on its own, his hand slamming onto the broken chain. Sacrifice required. 1 permanent stat. He didn't hesitate. -2 strength. Chain repair progress. 50%. The Duskwarden's laughter turned to rage. You would cage me again? After what they did to you? Images flooded Dane's mind. wardens in silver masks, injecting prisoners with liquid void. Kayla, standing among them, her dagger raised not in protest, but in approval. The vision shattered as Kayla tore free, her dagger finding the possessed officer's heart. Don't listen, she snarled. It lies, the Dusk Warden howled, its form collapsing back into the pit as the chains reforged themselves. Silence. Then, lock number 2. Stabilized, remaining locks. 5. Kayla wiped blood from her lip. 1 down. Dane stared at his hands. At what cost? The elevator ride back was silent. Kayla didn't meet his eyes, and the runes on Dane's arm itched with new purpose. Next lock. The shattered gate, syndicate activity. 92%, somewhere above. A black mirror cracked. Chapter 10. The Shattered Gate, 1. The weight of choices, Dane's reflection in the train window looked hollow. His strength was gone. Sacrificed to rebind the Dusk Warden. His remaining stats flickered erratically in his vision, as if the system itself was unraveling. Remaining stats, agility. 6, magic affinity. 4, luck. 4, sanity. 12%, Kayla sat across from him, sharpening her dagger with methodical precision. The silence between them was a living thing, thick with unspoken truths. You knew, Dane said, finally. About the wardens, about the sacrifices. She didn't deny it. I knew enough to run. The train shuddered as it passed into the quarantine zone, where the third lock, the shattered gate, waited, and the syndicate was already there. Blank, underscore, blank, 2. The shattered gate, breach sight. The gate wasn't a door, it was a wound in the sky, a jagged tear hovering above the ruins of an old military complex. Through it, Dane could see another city, twisted and wrong, its streets lined with pulsing veins. Syndicate operatives moved like ants below it, their bodies tethered to the ground by glowing cables, as if afraid the gate might pull them in. Kayla's grip tightened on her dagger. They're not trying to open it. They're feeding it. A scream echoed from the complex. One of the operatives floated upward, limbs snapping like twigs as the gate swallowed him whole. Dane's runes burned ice cold. Lock number 3 to 61% stability. Warning. Entity incursion detected. Blank, underscore, blank, 3. The third entity, the Hollow Crown. The syndicate's leader stood at the base of the gate, her coat flaring in the unnatural wind. Director Celine Vey. Her eyes were gone, replaced by 2 voids that dripped black sludge. When she spoke, her voice was layered, as if something else spoke through her. Awe. The warden and her pet key. You're too late. She raised a hand. The gate ripped open wider, and something stepped through. Blank, underscore, blank, 4. The Hollow Crown's truth. It wasn't a monster. It was Dane, or a version of him, older, harder. His body fused with the same black crystal that had once made up the gauntlet. Entity identified. The Hollow Crown. Nature. Reflection of potential future. Threat level. Catastrophic. The reflection smiled. You could have been glorious. Instead, you're just a tool. Kayla lunged. Her dagger shattered against the reflection's chest. It backhanded her into the rubble. Pathetic, it said. You're not even a real warden anymore. Dane's runes screamed. Lock reset protocol. Override detected. Blank, underscore, blank, 5. The final gambit. Dane had 1 play left. He ran toward the gate. The reflection laughed. You think sacrificing yourself will matter? There are always more keys. Dane didn't stop. He leapt into the tear. For a heartbeat, he hung in the void, the reflection's mocking smile frozen in place. Then, sacrifice accepted. Lock number 3. Stabilizing. The gate screamed. The reflection unraveled, its form dissolving into static, and Dane fell. Blank, underscore, blank, 6. The other side, he woke in a city that wasn't his own. The sky was a blood-red void. The buildings pulsed like living flesh, and standing over him was Kayla. But not his Kayla. This one wore a warden's silver mask. Welcome, she said, her voice hollow. To the heart of the prison. Behind her, 4 more gates loomed, and beyond them, something stared back. The runes on Dane's arm blinked once, then went dark. System offline. Goodbye.